Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the UES Defiance, staring at the tactical display that showed the empty space where New Geneva used to be. The planet was still there, but the human colony was gone. Burned cities dotted the surface, like dark scars. The orbital defense platforms were nothing but floating debris. "Any survivors?" Morrison asked his communications officer. Lieutenant Amy Foster shook her head. "We're picking up some automated distress beacons from the emergency shelters, but no human life signs. Whoever did this was thorough." Morrison was a veteran of the human colonial navy. At 42 years old, he had spent 20 years in space, but he had never seen destruction like this. Behind him, the rest of his task force spread out across the system. The UES Retribution, commanded by Captain Steve Martinez, was scanning the outer planets. The UES Vengeance, under Captain Nicole Price, was examining the asteroid belt for any clues about the attackers. "Captain," called out Lieutenant Ben Clark from the tactical station, "I'm detecting strange energy signatures near the fourth planet. Could be engine trails from unknown ships." "How old?" Morrison asked. "Maybe 6 hours, sir. Whatever ships made these trails, they were big. Really big." Chief Engineer Tony Williams looked up from his instruments. "Captain, I've been analyzing the weapons damage on the planet's surface. The energy patterns don't match anything in our database. This is definitely alien technology." Morrison nodded grimly. 3 days ago, Admiral Lisa Carter had briefed him about the message from New Geneva. The colonists had managed to transmit detailed information about their attackers before the end. A species called the Drakmori Empire. Advanced technology. No interest in negotiation. They took prisoners as slaves. "Tony, can you track these engine signatures?" Morrison asked. "Already working on it, sir. The aliens use some kind of exotic matter drive system. It leaves a unique quantum signature in subspace. If we calibrate our sensors correctly, we should be able to follow their trail." On the UES Retribution, Captain Martinez was studying the same energy readings. He had served with Morrison for 10 years, and he knew what his friend was thinking. The official orders from Earth Command were clear: locate the attackers and gather intelligence. But everyone in the fleet knew what they really meant. "Communications. Get me Captain Morrison," Martinez ordered. Morrison's face appeared on the viewing screen. "What have you found, Steve?" "Same energy signatures on our end. The trail leads toward the Kepler system. Jake, these readings suggest we're looking at a fleet of at least 200 ships." Morrison's expression didn't change. "Then we follow them." "Jake, you know the numbers don't look good for us. We have 3 ships. They have hundreds." "Steve, did you read the full report from New Geneva?" Martinez nodded. "Every word." "Then you know they took civilians. Children. They're selling our people as slaves right now." Morrison's voice was quiet, but hard as steel. "We're going after them." The 3 human ships jumped to hyperspace, following the alien trail. Behind them, additional fleets were already launching from Earth and the other human colonies. Admiral Carter had mobilized every available vessel. The message was simple: bring our people home. In hyperspace, the ships traveled at incredible speeds through folded space-time. But even at faster-than-light velocity, the journey to the Kepler system took 18 hours. During that time, the crews prepared for battle. Dr. Sarah Johnson, the fleet's xenobiologist, worked with the tactical teams to analyze the data from New Geneva. Based on the weapon signatures, the Drakmori use plasma-based energy systems, she explained to Captain Morrison. "Our shield should provide some protection, but not much against this level of firepower." Lieutenant Clark studied the tactical data. "Captain, their ships are much larger than ours, but they seem to fight in traditional formation patterns. Line battles, concentrated firepower, very formal, very predictable." "What are you thinking, Ben?" "Well, sir, humans don't usually fight that way. We adapt. We improvise. Maybe we can use that against them." When the human fleet dropped out of hyperspace in the Kepler system, they found exactly what they expected. A massive Drakmori fleet was orbiting the system's gas giant, refueling their ships and organizing their stolen cargo. War Chief Graxtal's flagship, the Iron Fang, sat in the center of the formation like a dark mountain in space. 237 enemy vessels, Lieutenant Clark reported. They're in standard defensive formation around the gas giant. Morrison opened a channel to his other captains. Steve, Nicole, you see what we're facing? Captain Price's voice came through the speakers. I see it, Jake. What's the plan? We're going to hit them fast and hard. No formal battle lines. No. Predictable tactics. We hit their flanks, cause as much damage as we can, then jump out before they can respond. That's suicide, Jake, Martinez warned. Even if we catch them by surprise, we can't fight 200 ships. We're not trying to win, Steve. We're trying to hurt them, make them bleed. Show them that attacking humans has consequences. The 3 human ships accelerated toward the Drakmori fleet at maximum speed. They approached from 3 different directions, using the gas giant's magnetic field to mask their approach. When they were detected, they were already too close for the aliens to respond effectively. On the bridge of the Iron Fang, War Chief Graxtal watched the tactical display with amusement. 3 ships? The humans sent 3 ships against my entire fleet. War Chief, his tactical officer reported, they're moving at attack speed. They appear to be targeting our fuel ships. Impossible. No species is that foolish. They must be coming to negotiate. But the humans had no interest in negotiation. The UES Defiance launched a full spread of nuclear missiles at a Drakmori fuel tanker, while the UES Retribution targeted a supply ship with its main guns. The UES Vengeance dove straight into the enemy formation, firing at everything within range. The attacks caught the Drakmori completely off guard. They had expected the humans to request a parley or attempt to rescue their people through diplomatic means. Instead, the human ships fought like wild animals, striking wherever they could cause the most damage. Captain Morrison watched as his missiles found their target. The Drakmori fuel tanker exploded in a brilliant fireball that lit up the entire system. That's for New Geneva, he said quietly. But the Drakmori fleet was recovering from their surprise. Hundreds of enemy ships began moving to intercept the human vessels. Energy beams lanced through space, barely missing the fast-moving human ships. Jake, we need to get out of here, Martinez called over the communications. They're bringing their whole fleet to bear on us. Not yet, Morrison replied. Tony, what's the status on our special project? Chief Engineer Williams grinned. Ready to deploy, Captain. Morrison had ordered his engineers to prepare something special for this encounter. Based on Dr. Johnson's analysis of Drakmori technology, they had modified several of their missiles with a new type of warhead. Instead of explosions, these missiles would release clouds of metallic particles designed to interfere with alien sensor systems. Deploy the sensor scramblers, Morrison ordered. Dozens of modified missiles launched from the human ships, spreading clouds of interference throughout the Drakmori formation. Suddenly, the alien ships found themselves blind, their sensors unable to distinguish between real targets and false readings. In the confusion, the human ships struck again. They targeted command vessels, weapon platforms, anything that looked important. Each hit was carefully calculated to cause maximum disruption with minimum risk to the human fleet. War Chief Graxtal roared with fury as his ship stumbled around in the electronic fog. Find those humans! Destroy them! But the humans were already gone, jumping back into hyperspace before the Drakmori could clear their sensors. They left behind 12 destroyed alien ships and a message broadcast on all frequencies. This is Captain Jake Morrison of the Human Colonial Navy. You attacked our colony. You killed our people. You took our families as slaves. This is just the beginning. We know where you are. We know what ships you have. We're coming for you. And we won't stop until every human prisoner is free and every one of you pays for what you did. As the human ships disappeared into hyperspace, War Chief Graxtal stared at the wreckage floating around his fleet. 12 ships destroyed by 3 small vessels. It should have been impossible. War Chief, his communications officer reported, "We're receiving similar attacks reports from 3 other systems. Human fleets are hitting our supply lines and fuel depots." Graxtal's red eyes blazed brighter. The humans weren't trying to fight a proper war. They were hunting his people like prey, striking where he was weakest and running before he could strike back. For the first time since the attack on New Geneva, the war chief began to understand what the Zephyrian ambassador had been trying to tell the Galactic Council. These humans didn't fight like civilized beings. They fought like something much more dangerous. They fought like predators. 2 months after the USS Defiance completed its tests, Admiral Kethvor made a decision that would change galactic history. His reconnaissance probe had detected massive energy signatures from human space, but the probe was destroyed before it could report back. Something near Neptune had fired a weapon powerful enough to vaporize his most advanced spy satellite. "The humans are hiding something," Kethvor told his fleet commanders aboard his flagship, the Eternal Glory. The ship was 3 kilometers long and covered in golden armor that reflected starlight like a mirror. It was the pride of the Zephyrian Empire and had never lost a battle. "What could they possibly hide from us?" asked Commander Veltar. "Their most advanced ships are barely capable of interplanetary travel. They depend on our technology for everything." Kethvor looked at the tactical display showing 12 Zephyrian warships arranged in battle formation. Each ship carried enough firepower to destroy a planet. Together, they represented the largest fleet the Empire had sent to human space in 50 years. "I don't know what they're hiding, but I intend to find out," Kethvor said. "Set course for Earth. It's time the humans learned their place in the galaxy." On Earth, Admiral Brooks received the urgent message from her deep space sensors. 12 alien warships were approaching the solar system at high speed. This was not a trade mission or diplomatic visit. The aliens were coming in battle formation and their weapons were powered up. "Get me Captain Morrison," Brooks ordered her communication officer. The image of Jake Morrison appeared on the main screen. He was on the bridge of the USS Defiance, which was hidden behind one of Neptune's moons. For 2 months, the ship had been conducting training exercises and system upgrades. Now it looked like their secret was about to be tested in real combat. "Admiral, we're detecting the alien fleet," Jake reported. 12 ships, all military class. They'll reach Earth in 6 hours. "What are your orders, Captain?" Jake had been expecting this moment since the day construction began on the Defiance. The aliens would eventually discover what humans had been building. When that happened, there would be only 2 choices: surrender or fight. "We're moving to intercept," Jake said. "It's time to show them what human scrap can become." The USS Defiance powered up its engines and began the journey from Neptune to Earth. The ship's hybrid propulsion system pushed it through space faster than any human vessel had traveled before. Jake's crew prepared for their first real battle, checking weapon systems and shield generators one final time. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission from the alien fleet," reported Communications Officer Ben Carter. "Put it on screen." Admiral Kethvor's face appeared on the bridge display. His alien features showed no emotion, but his eyes were filled with cold authority. "Human vessels, you will cease all activities and prepare for inspection. The Galactic Trade Federation has evidence that you are developing prohibited technologies." Jake stood up from his captain's chair. Behind him, the bridge crew worked quietly at their stations. The massive ship hummed with power as 8 fusion reactors fed energy to alien-enhanced systems. "Admiral Kethvor, this is Captain Morrison of the United Earth Space Navy. You are approaching Earth with hostile intent. Turn back now, or we will defend our home." Kethvor laughed. "Defend? With what? Your primitive ships are no match for Zephyrian technology. We could destroy your entire fleet without taking damage." "Maybe," Jake said, "but you've never fought a ship like this one." The USS Defiance emerged from behind Neptune's moon and began accelerating toward Earth. On his flagship, Kethvor watched the sensor readings with growing confusion. The human ship was massive, larger than most alien dreadnoughts, but more disturbing were the energy signatures it was producing. "What type of vessel is that?" Kethvor asked his science officer. "Unknown, Admiral. The power readings don't match any ship in our databases. It's producing energy levels comparable to our largest battle cruisers, but the design is completely foreign." Kethvor studied the approaching ship on his main screen. It looked nothing like the sleek, curved vessels that dominated galactic navies. The human ship was angular and brutal, covered in armor and weapon ports. It looked like it was built for one purpose: war. "How did humans develop such technology?" Commander Veltar whispered. "They didn't," Kethvor replied. "They must have stolen it from somewhere. No primitive species could design something like that." The two fleets approached each other in the empty space between Neptune and Earth. Jake's single ship faced 12 alien warships, each one individually powerful enough to conquer most planets. But Jake was not worried. He had seen what the Defiance could do during testing, and he believed in his crew. "Admiral, we're in weapons range," reported Pete Anderson from the tactical station. "Shields up, all weapons ready," Jake ordered. The USS Defiance's shield generators activated, surrounding the ship with layers of energy barriers. The hybrid shields combined alien technology with human power systems, creating protection stronger than anything the galaxy had seen before. Kethvor decided to end this quickly. "Fire warning shots. Show these humans what real weapons can do." Two of his escort ships fired energy beams at empty space near the Defiance. The beams were powerful enough to vaporize small asteroids and were meant to intimidate the human crew into surrendering. Jake watched the alien weapons fire and felt his anger growing. For 50 years, aliens had treated humans like children. They had given humans their unwanted scraps and demanded tribute in return. They had never bothered to learn what humans were capable of when they stopped being grateful and started being creative. "Communications, open a channel to all human colonies," Jake ordered. Ben Carter nodded. "Channel open, Captain." Jake's next words were broadcast across human space, heard by millions of people on dozens of worlds. "This is Captain Morrison of the USS Defiance. For 3 years, the aliens have given us their scrap metal and broken machines. They thought we were too stupid to understand their technology. Today, we show them what we built from their garbage." He turned to his weapons officer. "Pete, target their lead escort ship. Full power." "Target locked, Captain." "Fire." The USS Defiance's main railgun battery fired. Human magnetic accelerators enhanced with alien targeting computers launched projectiles at 98% of light speed. The metal slugs hit the alien escort cruiser before its crew even knew they were under attack. The 300-meter alien ship simply ceased to exist. One moment it was there, the next it was an expanding cloud of hot gas and metal fragments. The other alien ships watched in shock as their companion vanished without warning. "Impossible," Kethvor breathed. "Our shields should have stopped any human weapon." His science officer was frantically checking the sensor data. "Admiral, those weren't energy weapons. They fired solid projectiles at near-light speed. Our shields are designed to stop energy attacks, not kinetic impacts at those velocities." Kethvor realized he had made a terrible mistake. The humans hadn't stolen alien technology. They had done something worse. They had taken alien technology and made it better. "All ships, focus fire on that human vessel," Kethvor ordered. "Destroy it now." 11 alien warships turned their weapons toward the USS Defiance and fired everything they had. Energy beams, plasma bolts, and quantum torpedoes filled space with deadly light. The concentrated firepower could have melted continents and boiled oceans. The alien weapons struck the Defiance's shields and simply disappeared. The hybrid barriers absorbed the incoming energy and converted it into harmless radiation. The ship didn't even slow down. "Shields holding at 97%, reported Chris Johnson from the engineering deck. "Their weapons barely scratched us." Jake smiled grimly. Return fire. All weapons, all targets. The USS Defiance unleashed its full arsenal. Railguns fired streams of projectiles that tore through alien hulls like paper. Energy cannons, powered by fusion reactors, sent beams that sliced enemy ships in half. Missile systems launched, guided. Warheads that found gaps in alien shields and exploded inside enemy vessels. The battle lasted 20 minutes. When it ended, 10 alien ships were debris floating in space. Only Kethvor's flagship remained, its engines damaged, and its weapons offline. "Admiral, we need to retreat," Commander Veltar urged. "We cannot fight this ship." Kethvor looked at the tactical display showing his destroyed fleet. 50 years of Zephyrian naval superiority had just ended in 20 minutes. The humans had taken his empire's unwanted garbage and turned it into the most powerful warship he had ever seen. "Signal retreat," he ordered quietly. The damaged flagship turned away from Earth and limped toward the edge of the solar system. Behind it, the USS Defiance maintained position, its weapons still trained on the fleeing alien ship. Jake opened a communication channel to the retreating flagship. "Admiral Kethvor, give this message to your empire. Humanity is no longer your source of cheap materials and free labor. We are your equals now. Treat us with respect or face the consequences." The alien ship disappeared into faster-than-light travel, carrying news that would shock the entire galaxy. For the first time in galactic history, a human ship had defeated an alien fleet in open combat. 1 year later, the USS Defiance floated in space like a sleeping giant. The ship was 2 kilometers long and half a kilometer wide. Its hull was dark gray metal with no decorations or bright colors. Unlike the smooth, curved alien ships, the Defiance looked like it was built for war. Hard angles, thick armor, and weapon ports covered every surface. Captain Jake Morrison walked through the ship's corridors for the first time as its commander. Admiral Brooks had chosen him to lead the Defiance because he understood both human determination and alien technology. Jake had spent the last year learning every system on the ship while it was being built. "Captain, we're ready for the first power test," said Lisa Parker over the ship's communication system. She was now the chief engineer of the most advanced ship humans had ever built. Lisa's workshop was 5 levels below the bridge, surrounded by fusion reactors and alien computers, working together. Jake made his way to the bridge. The command center was larger than the bridge of any human ship. Screens covered the walls, showing information about every part of the vessel. But the controls were designed for human hands, and the chairs were built for human bodies. This was a human ship that used alien technology, not the other way around. "All stations report ready," said Susan Lee, the navigation officer. She sat at a console that combined human star charts with alien sensor arrays. The result was a navigation system that could see farther and calculate faster than anything else in space. "Weapons ready," reported Pete Anderson from the tactical station. His console controlled over 200 different weapon systems. Each weapon was a combination of human design and alien enhancement. The firepower of the Defiance was beyond anything the galaxy had seen before. "Engineering ready," came Lisa's voice from below. "All fusion reactors are online and stable. Power output is at maximum safe levels." Jake sat in the captain's chair and looked around at his crew. There were 800 people on this ship, all of them volunteers who had trained for months to operate hybrid technology. They were the best of humanity, and they were about to test humanity's greatest achievement. "Begin power test," Jake ordered. Deep in the ship's core, 8 massive fusion reactors came to full power. The reactors were human-built but enhanced, with alien computer controls. They produced more energy than any previous human power source. This energy flowed through alien crystals and circuits, amplifying and directing it to every system on the ship. The bridge screens lit up with information. Sensors reached out to scan nearby asteroids and found details that no human sensor had ever detected before. The shield generators activated, surrounding the ship with an energy barrier strong enough to stop planet-killing weapons. The weapons Systems came online, each one ready to fire projectiles or energy beams with devastating accuracy. All systems are working perfectly, Lisa reported. Power efficiency is actually higher than our best estimates. The alien technology loves our fusion energy. Jake smiled. After 3 years of collecting alien scrap and 1 year of building, humans had created something amazing. But the real test would come when they tried to move the ship. Navigation, plot a course to the outer asteroid belt, Jake ordered. Let's see how fast this ship can go. Susan Lee worked at her console, calculating a path through space. The alien. Computers processed the information faster than any human could think. Course plotted, Captain. Distance is 50 million kilometers. Engage engines. Tony Miller's hybrid propulsion system activated. The engines used human fusion rockets enhanced with alien space-bending technology. The Defiance began to move. Slowly at first, then faster and faster. Within minutes, the massive ship was traveling at speeds that would have taken human ships hours to reach. Time to destination, 12 minutes, Susan reported. We're traveling at 0.7 light speed and still accelerating. The crew watched in amazement as their ship flew through space faster than anything humans had built before. But Jake was thinking about more than just speed. He was thinking about what this ship meant for humanity's future. On the other side of the galaxy, Zephyrian Admiral Kethavor was studying reports from his intelligence networks. For months, his agents had been detecting unusual energy signatures from human space. The readings didn't match any known human technology, and they were getting stronger every week. Show me the latest sensor data, Kethavor ordered his science officer. The holographic display showed energy patterns that made no sense. The signatures were coming from an area near Neptune where humans mined asteroids, but the power readings were far beyond anything human reactors should produce. Could the humans have developed new technology? Asked the science officer. Kethavor laughed. Impossible. Humans are barely capable of space travel. They depend on us for everything advanced. These readings must be from natural phenomena or equipment malfunctions. But privately, Kethavor was concerned. The Zephyrian Empire had been watching humans for 50 years. They were useful as a source of raw materials and cheap labor, but they were not considered a threat. If humans had somehow developed advanced technology, it could complicate the Empire's plans. Send a reconnaissance probe to investigate, Kethavor ordered. But keep it subtle. I don't want to alarm the humans unnecessarily. Back on the USS Defiance, the crew was conducting weapon tests. They had moved to an empty area of space where they could fire at asteroids without hitting anything important. Maria Santos had designed the weapon tests to show what every system could do. First test, Railgun Battery Alpha, Maria announced. Target asteroid is 2 kilometers wide, composed of iron and nickel. The Defiance's main railguns fired. Human. Magnetic accelerators launched metal projectiles enhanced with alien targeting systems. The projectiles traveled at 95% of light speed and hit the asteroid with the force of nuclear weapons. The 2-kilometer rock simply vanished in a flash of light and heat. Target destroyed, Pete Anderson reported. Time from firing to impact, 0.3 seconds. The crew cheered. They had just seen their ship destroy a target that would have taken hours for conventional human weapons to break apart. Next test, energy beam array, Maria continued. Alien energy. Cannons powered by human fusion reactors fired streams of pure energy at another asteroid. The beams cut through rock and metal like hot knives through butter. Within seconds, they had carved the asteroid into perfect geometric shapes. Beam weapons operating at 300% of alien standard power, Lisa reported from engineering. Our reactors are giving them more energy than they were designed to handle, but they're working perfectly. The final test was the shield system. Chris Johnson had designed a defensive barrier that combined alien energy shields with human structural engineering. The result was protection that could stop almost any attack. Weapons, target our own shields with low-power energy beams, Jake ordered. The ship fired its own weapons at its own shields. The energy barriers absorbed the attack without strain. The shields glowed brightly as they converted the incoming energy into harmless light and heat. Shields holding at full strength, Chris reported. They could absorb attacks 10 times stronger than what we just fired. Jake sat back in his chair and realized what they had accomplished. The USS Defiance was not just a human ship with alien parts. It was something entirely new. A vessel that combined human engineering strength with alien technological sophistication. The result was a warship more powerful than anything the galaxy had seen. "Lisa, what's our maximum combat capability?" Jake asked. "Captain, this ship could fight an entire alien fleet and win," Lisa replied. "Our weapons are more powerful, our shields are stronger, and our reactors give us unlimited energy. The aliens built their technology assuming limited power sources. They never imagined what would happen if someone had unlimited energy." Jake looked out at the stars and thought about humanity's future. For 3 years, aliens had been giving humans their unwanted technology, believing humans were too primitive to understand it. They had been wrong. Humans had not only understood alien technology, but had made it better. The USS Defiance was ready for its first real mission. And Jake had a feeling that mission would come sooner than anyone expected. The Hegemony Coalition fleet arrived at the edge of human space like a dark storm cloud covering the stars. Admiral Kethvar commanded over 300 ships from 12 different species, all united in their mission to contain the human threat. The fleet was the largest military force the galaxy had seen in centuries. "Scan for human vessels," Admiral Kethvar ordered from his command ship. "Intelligence reports indicate they have fewer than 50 ships in this sector. This should be a simple operation." The Hegemony had expected to find frightened humans hiding behind their planets, begging for mercy. Instead, they found 30 human ships arranged in a defensive line, with the New Horizon at the center. The human vessels looked small and primitive. Compared to the massive alien warships, Captain Jake Morrison stood on his bridge, watching the enemy fleet on his tactical display. The odds were impossible, but he had never seen his crew more determined. Behind him, Thexani and the other Zalari survivors watched in amazement as humans prepared to fight a battle they could not possibly win. "All human ships. This is Captain Morrison," Jake broadcast on the command frequency. "Remember what we're fighting for. Behind us are our homes, our families, and everything we've built among the stars. Today, we show the galaxy what humans do when someone threatens our people." The response from the other human captains was immediate and fierce. Mining ships, cargo haulers, and exploration vessels had all been converted into improvised warships. Their crews were miners, engineers, and scientists who had never expected to fight in a space battle, but they were ready to die defending humanity. Admiral Kethvar opened a communication channel to the human fleet. "Human vessels, you are outnumbered. 10-1. Surrender immediately and your deaths will be quick. Continue to resist and we will make examples of you." Jake Morrison's response surprised everyone on both sides of the battle. "Admiral, you made a big mistake coming here. You should have brought more ships." The alien admiral was confused by this response. How could humans be confident when facing such overwhelming odds? His tactical computers showed that victory was mathematically certain. "Begin the attack," Admiral Kethvar ordered. "Destroy the human fleet." The Hegemony ships moved forward in perfect formation, their weapons charging for a coordinated assault. They expected the humans to either flee or try to surrender at the last moment. Instead, the human ships accelerated directly toward them. "What are they doing?" asked the Hegemony tactical officer. "They're charging straight at us." The human attack was unlike anything in Hegemony military history. Instead of trying to avoid the enemy's superior firepower, the humans flew directly into it. Ships that should have been destroyed kept fighting even with massive damage. When their weapons failed, human captains rammed their vessels into enemy ships. Captain Amanda Foster, commanding the converted mining ship Steel Runner, took her vessel straight through the middle of the Hegemony formation. Her ship was designed to smash through asteroids, and it proved equally effective against alien hulls. "This is insane," Admiral Kethvar muttered as he watched human ships performing maneuvers that violated every principle of safe spaceflight. No rational species fights like this. Engineer Ron Martinez aboard the New Horizon was coordinating the human fleet's technical innovations. Using Zalari technology combined with human engineering, they had created weapons that the hegemony couldn't understand or counter. Their shields can't handle our modified plasma cannons, Ron reported to Jake. The aliens built their defenses to stop predictable attacks, not the crazy stuff we're throwing at them. Dr. Paul Henderson was recording everything for historical purposes, but he was also analyzing hegemony weaknesses in real time. Captain, their fleet coordination is breaking down. They can't adapt to our unpredictable tactics. The battle that should have lasted minutes stretched into hours. Human ships that should have been destroyed kept fighting with systems that any rational engineer would consider completely failed. The hegemony forces found themselves facing an enemy that simply refused to die. Impossible, Admiral Kethvar said, as he watched another human ship, trailing fire and atmosphere, ram itself into one of his destroyers. Our computers say that vessel should have been destroyed an hour ago. Security Chief Danny Walsh was leading boarding parties against damaged hegemony ships. The aliens inside were terrified of the humans who kept fighting even when wounded. Danny's teams captured 3 enemy vessels using nothing but determination and improvised weapons. Their technology is better than ours, Danny reported to Jake, but they fall apart when things don't go according to plan. These aliens have never had to deal with real chaos. The turning point came when Captain Morrison made a decision that shocked both sides. With the New Horizon badly damaged but still fighting, he ordered a direct assault on Admiral Kethvar's command ship. "Jake, that's suicide," protested Katie Rodriguez. "Their flagship has 10 times our firepower." "Maybe," Jake replied, "but I bet they've never had someone crazy enough to try it." The New Horizon, streaming debris and atmosphere, charged straight at the massive hegemony command vessel. Admiral Kethvar's crew panicked as the human ship refused to be stopped by their defensive fire. At the last moment, Jake's ship fired everything it had directly into the alien flagship's bridge. The explosion that followed lit up space for millions of kilometers. When the light faded, both ships were severely damaged, but only one was still fighting. The New Horizon, held together by human stubbornness and emergency repairs, continued to fire at the enemy fleet. "This is Admiral Kethvar to all hegemony forces," came a weak transmission from the damaged flagship. "Withdraw immediately. These humans are not rational beings. They fight like demons from the void." The remaining hegemony ships began to retreat, leaving behind nearly half their fleet as debris or captured vessels. The aliens had expected an easy victory over primitive humans, but instead, they had encountered something that challenged everything they believed about warfare. As the enemy fleet fled, the human ships slowly regrouped. Many were barely functional, and the casualty reports were heavy, but they had achieved the impossible. They had defeated a force that should have destroyed them completely. Thexani found Jake Morrison in the New Horizon's damaged bridge, coordinating rescue operations for survivors from both sides. The alien leader was amazed by what he had witnessed. "Captain, I understand now why the hegemony fears your species," Thexani said quietly. "You don't just fight to win. You fight as if losing isn't even possible." Jake looked out at the stars, where human ships were already beginning repairs and rescue operations. "We learned a long time ago that giving up means dying. Today we taught the galaxy that humans don't give up." The battle was over, but Jake knew this was just the beginning. Word of humanity's victory would spread across the galaxy, and other species would have to decide whether humans were friends or enemies. Either way, the age of human containment was finished forever. Captain Jake Morrison stood at the big window of his ship and watched the stars. His ship was called the Rusty Diamond, and it was not pretty. The metal was old and had many patches. The paint was coming off in places. But Jake loved this ship, because it was home to him and his crew. Today, they were waiting for another delivery from the aliens. The Galactic Trade Federation sent them packages every month. The aliens called these packages aid, but Jake knew better. These packages were full of broken alien machines that nobody wanted anymore. The aliens thought humans were too stupid to understand their advanced technology, so they gave them their trash. "Captain, another ship is coming," said Danny Walsh. He was young and always excited about everything. Danny worked as an assistant to the chief engineer. He pointed at the screen that showed a big alien ship approaching. Jake nodded. "Tell Lisa to get ready. We have more junk to sort through." Lisa Parker was the smartest person on Jake's ship. She could look at any machine and understand how it worked. She had been studying alien technology for 3 years now. While humans just threw the broken parts away, Lisa kept everything. She believed that even broken things could be useful. The alien ship was huge and silver. It moved without making any sound. Jake always felt small when he saw these ships. The aliens had technology that humans could only dream about. Their ships could travel between stars in days. Their weapons could destroy planets. Their computers could think faster than any human brain. A voice came through the radio. It spoke in the common galactic language that all traders used. "Human vessel, prepare to receive cargo delivery. Payment is expected within standard time. Limits." Jake pressed a button to answer. "We're ready. Send it over." The alien ship opened a big door on its side. Hundreds of metal containers floated out and moved toward the rusty diamond. Each container was full of broken alien parts. Jake's crew used their ship's mechanical arms to grab the containers and pull them inside. "Same as always," said Danny as he opened the first container. Inside were pieces of metal and glass that looked like they came from some kind of computer. Most of the pieces were cracked or melted. "Why do they even bother sending us this stuff?" Lisa came over and picked up one of the pieces. She held it up to the light and looked at it carefully. "Because they don't understand us," she said. "They think we're primitives who can't learn. But every piece they send us teaches us something new." She had been collecting alien parts for a long time. Her workshop was full of broken machines that she had taken apart and studied. Lisa knew more about alien technology than most aliens did. She understood how their computers worked, how their engines produced power, and how their weapons created energy beams. The alien ship finished unloading and flew away without saying goodbye. Jake watched it disappear into space. "Another month. Another load of garbage," he said. But Lisa was not listening. She was looking at something in the container. That made her eyes go wide. "Jake, come look at this," she said. Jake walked over and saw what Lisa was holding. It was a small blue crystal that glowed with its own light. He had never seen anything like it before. "What is it?" "I think it's a quantum drive core," Lisa said. Her voice was excited. "This is what aliens use to make their ships go faster than light." "But this one looks different." Danny leaned in to get a better look. "Different how?" Lisa turned the crystal over in her hands. "Most quantum cores need special alien power sources to work, but this one has been modified. Look at these connections here. I think it might work with human fusion reactors." This was big news. Human ships used fusion reactors for power, but they were much simpler than alien power systems. If Lisa was right, then humans might be able to use alien technology with their own power sources. Far away on Earth, Admiral Helen Brooks was reading another message from the aliens. The message was not friendly. The Galactic Trade Federation wanted humans to send them more minerals and metals. They wanted gold, platinum, and rare elements from human planets. In return, they would continue sending their broken machines. Admiral Brooks was tired of these demands. The aliens treated humans like servants. They took whatever they wanted and gave nothing useful in return. But Earth was not strong enough to fight back. Human ships were slow and weak compared to alien vessels. Human weapons could barely scratch. Alien shields. She looked out the window of her office at the space station orbiting Earth. Human engineers and workers were busy building new ships and repairing old ones. But no matter how hard they worked, human technology was still far behind alien science. Her secretary came in with another report. "Admiral, Dr. Kevin Hart wants to see you. He says it's urgent." Dr. Hart ran a secret research station near Saturn. His job was to study alien technology and find ways to copy it. Most of his work failed because alien machines were too complex for humans to understand. But Hart never gave up trying. "Send him in," Admiral Brooks said. Dr. Hart was a thin man with gray hair and tired eyes. He had been working on alien technology for 10 years. Most people thought his work was hopeless, but Admiral Brooks supported him because she believed humans needed to learn. "Admiral, we may have found something important," Dr. Hart said. He put a small device on her desk. It looked like a piece of alien machinery, but it had human wires connected to it. "This is a scanner from an alien ship. We've been trying to power it for months with no success. And now? We connected it to a human fusion battery and it worked perfectly. Not only did it work, but it worked better than when aliens used their own power sources. Our fusion reactors produce more steady energy than their crystal systems." Admiral Brooks picked up the device and looked at it closely. "What does this mean?" "It means the aliens have been giving us exactly what we need, but they don't know it. All these broken machines they send us work fine. They just need different power sources. We've been trying to fix them the alien way, but we should have been adapting them to work the human way." This news changed everything. If Dr. Hart was right, then all the alien junk that humans had been collecting could be turned into working technology. Instead of being dependent on alien charity, humans could build their own advanced machines. Admiral Brooks made a decision that would change human history. "Dr. Hart, I want you to collect every piece of alien technology we have. I'm giving you unlimited resources and the best engineers we have. It's time to show these aliens what humans can really do." Meanwhile, back on the Rusty Diamond, Lisa Parker was making her own discoveries. The quantum drive core was just the beginning. She found alien computers that could work with human software. She found weapon parts that could be powered by human reactors. She found shield generators that humans could control. For the first time in years, Lisa felt hope. The aliens thought they were giving humans garbage, but they were actually giving them the tools to become equals. It would take time and hard work, but Lisa believed humans could turn alien scrap into something amazing. She didn't know it yet, but her work would soon help build the most powerful warship the galaxy had ever seen.